You should be eating based on what's going to work best for you and never compare yourself to anyone else. I'm not saying that being in an office, cleaning, the touching, it's going to replace that work, but having tools, techniques in your arsenal, in your toolbox that whenever you need it, you can pull it out for yourself or a family member or teaching a friend. It's extremely beneficial and they work. No one should learn to live with pain. You should seek solutions because solutions are out there. You just haven't found one yet. What your life would look like if you didn't have the pain.
Welcome back to our ExpertEase Meet the Experts series, where we introduce you to the incredible experts who are helping people live better, healthier, and more empowered lives. I'm your host, Stephanie, co-founder of the ExpertEase app, but also very passionate about real conversations that spark growth and transformation. Today, I'm super happy to welcome Ani Papazyan, a Pain Resolution Practitioner, best-selling author, and speaker with over 30 years of experience helping people live pain-free lives. Ani is now based in Los Angeles, where she works with everyone from everyday clients to professional athletes and Hollywood elites. She's the founder of Last Stop for Pain and brings a powerful blend of kinesiology, massage therapy, functional nutrition, and nutrigenomics to her work. Ani specializes in crafting personalized strategies that help people recover from injuries, manage stress, and live without limitations. Her mission is clear: to empower individuals to take charge of their health and support lasting, meaningful transformation. All right, let's dive into Ani's story and wisdom. Hi, Ani. Welcome to today's show.
Hello, Safa. Thanks for having me here.
It's really a pleasure, and I can't wait to dig into the pain relief world. I think this concerns pretty much everybody at some point in their lives. So I want to ask you, the first question is, as a pain practitioner, what do you see as the most common issue that people come to you with? And really, how does it impact their life, this issue?
Well, that's a great question. I would have to say majority of my clients come see me for neck pain, TMJ, jaw pain, and lower back pain. That's the majority of the clients I see. And, when you're in pain, it impacts every aspect of your life. First of all, your mood, and then your environment, how you don't have as much patience to deal with other people, with the family and children, husband or whatever, because you're in pain, it just takes over your life. So even with your work performance, everything gets impacted.
What does it do? Like, is it because we sit for so long in front of our computers, or is it today's world of we have to handle so many things at the same time? What's the root cause of these three issues that you just mentioned now?
Well, most of the time it would be, trauma, injury, but the chronic stuff, which kind of sometimes just sneaks up on you, it would be, we're sitting for so much longer. I never, as a practitioner, my work was mostly, I used to see patients 6-7 days a week, sometimes 7-8 patients a day. It was very physical. Well, the last few years, I see less and less patients because I'm doing more online stuff, like networking, or interviews like this, or being on other people's podcasts, putting out online courses and things like that. So we spend so much more time sitting online, especially with COVID time. Everything was over Zoom. And we just became more sedentary. And, so it just kind of after a while, it sneaks up on you.
So you are a pain relief practitioner. I believe you have your own approach, your own style. What is unique about it?
Well, I'm a learner. So I love learning the weirdest, cool, funky new techniques that are not new because their foundation goes way, way back. But, I count I'm very fortunate that throughout the years, me doing this for 30 years, I came across some amazing practitioners, amazing doctors that created very unique ways to release pain. And I studied from that. Then what I did, I kind of combined that approach and make it my own thing. So my approach mostly is I don't go after symptoms. I don't look at the symptoms. My whole idea is let's find the root cause of your pain, figure out why you're having this pain. And that could be, a great example, if it's okay to bring in an example. Years ago, I had a client referred to me, and her neighbor had to drive her to my office. She had, after her surgery of a right breast partial mastectomy, she lost her balance. She couldn't drive, she couldn't walk straight. And naturally, usually doctors will send them to physical therapy. Well, she couldn't even go to physical therapy because she was so dizzy, she couldn't do any of the exercises. So she was referred to me. Her neighbor drove her to my clinic. And after I had to look up, okay, when doctors do a partial mastectomy, what muscles, what nerves they touch, they cut. Well, it was obvious that they addressed certain sections of the nerves that affected her, part of her central nervous system. So I addressed, I don't want to get into too technical, but her dura mater, which is the outside layers of that covers your spinal cord. And that has direct and indirect connections to so many muscles and the nerves going up and down your spine. And that's what threw off her balance. So all I had to do is balance those muscles and the nerves and balance her central nervous system. And just a 45-minute session, her dizziness was gone.
Oh, 45-minute session. You're a musician, Ani.
Sometimes it can have such amazing results. Actually, I submitted that case to there's a Science of Massage. It's a medical massage online publication that's run by Dr. Rasturchininov. He's a Russian MD. And I submitted my case there, and they thought it was such an interesting case that he did an interview with me, and it was published. And it was a long time ago, 2012. It was voted to be one of the best cases for the year.
Wow.
So that was an amazing case. So, yeah.
So what kind of training do you have?
Well, my bachelor's is in kinesiology. Mm-hmm. On top of it, I'm a medical massage practitioner. I'm a functional nutritionist, and I do a translation Nutri-genomics, where I look at people's genetic blueprints and we break it down, simplify it, analyze it. So I would create your eating habits, your exercise habits, all of it, your lifestyle choices based on your unique genetic makeup. It's not like, oh, this exercise is good because it's good for everyone, or the studies show it's good for you. Well, is it good for you based on your genetic blueprint? Because we are all unique.
Oh, that
individuals.
That may explain why I'm not into the HIIT workout. I'm trying to find excuses.
Well, I know, interestingly, I have to say, because after menopause, I put on a lot of weight and I'm having the hardest time losing. And I've always had difficulty losing weight. But one of the things they say, and you can hear it everywhere on TV, you go to YouTube, it's intermittent fasting. People lose a lot of weight intermittent fasting. Well, I tried for 8 months intermittent fasting. I was doing between 13, sometimes 18 hours. I didn't lose a pound. Well, then when I did my genetic report and I was consulting it with one of the practitioners, and she goes, Ani, no wonder intermittent fasting, you cannot lose weight. You would actually put on weight because you have genetic variants that your body would actually put on weight when you don't eat often enough. And I remember long time ago when I was seeing a nutritionist, his suggestion was, Ani, you got to eat every couple of hours. That was, and of course, at the time I was exercising regularly also, but that's when I lost the most weight.
Wow.
So just because something shows it's beneficial, it's healthy, doesn't mean it's good for you. You need to find out what works best for you.
I remember seeing a documentary on this, and it was about some athletes for the Olympic Games. They would see their performance actually falling down. And then after a lot of research, they realized that the athlete needed to eat more frequently, and that the number of meals that they had a day were not sufficient. And yeah, so it's really something tailored to you, to your body, to...
What's so interesting, I had a client who was an Olympic weightlifter. And when we didn't do his genetic testing, but we did his saliva hormone balance. And based on that, I told him, you need to eat more carbs. He goes, Ani, are you kidding me?
That's the dream, isn't it?
But what's so interesting, and if you go on my website, my homepage, I have a testimonial from him that he started eating more carbs. He got leaner. And he goes, people were telling me like, man, are you like losing more weight? Are you gaining more muscle? He goes, no, all he did, he put more carbs into his body, and that's what his body needed. Because, yes, carbs, it's a fuel for our brain. Our brain needs that. I'm not talking about, highly processed or eating tons of it, but you should be eating based on what's going to work best for you and never compare yourself to anyone else.
Wow, I'm definitely booking a consultation with you, Ani.
If you've been enjoying this conversation and something resonated with you, don't let this moment pass. You can connect directly with Ani on the ExpertEase app. Just download it from the App Store or Google Play, search for her profile, and book a one-on-one session with her. You can also send her a message, ask her questions, and take the first step toward a pain-free life. Relief is closer than you think.
So tell me, Ani, since when we think about pain relief, we think about like touching, massaging, but now you're offering online consultation. How does it compare to like in-person consultation? And is that really efficient for clients or patients?
I think this example that I want to bring in will answer that question perfectly. So one morning I woke up and I had an email from a client. She said, Ani, my 14-year-old son woke me up middle of the night with neck pain. She goes, I remember a couple of the techniques you taught me. I walked him through it and it worked. She goes, I was so excited that I could help my son middle of the night with his neck pain.
Oh,
because I felt like I was the super mom.
wow.
And so, yes, I'm not saying the being in the office, cleaning, the touching, it's going to replace that work. But the having tools, techniques in your arsenal, in your toolbox, that whenever you need it, you can pull it out for yourself or a family member or teaching a friend, it's extremely beneficial and they work.
So what's the story of most of your clients? Do they first go see like a doctor, a traditional doctor, or a chiropractor, and then it doesn't work, and then they come to see you?
That has been, it's kind of the path. Like a lot of times you end up in my office after you've been to different doctors, physical therapy, probably chiropractor, acupuncturist. and then will someone refer you to me. Or sometimes it happens, someone books an appointment, comes to my office, and they're like, so-and-so told me come and see you. I don't even know what you do.
And you're able today online to sort of like really understand the problem that they're going through without having to touch them and then feel like them like feeling the pain, the actual pain. Like I can just tell you, I have some neck pain or in my shoulders, and then you can show me step by step.
I can, but of course I'm gonna in between you're telling me your symptoms and me showing you the technique. In between, I'm gonna ask you several questions, and based on it's not just your answers, but also your facial expressions will tell me or lead me through. Oh, maybe I should ask this. Like I have actually on my website, there's a video testimonial. I was at the speaking seminar, and after we finished, there was a lady, she's a fighter, and we started talking, and somehow I said, is your left jaw, do you have a jaw pain? And she touched it. I actually asked her, can I touch? She goes, yeah, I touched it. I'm like, do you feel the pain on the left side? She goes, yeah, how did you know? I said, well, when I look on your face, I could see the left side was thicker. Oh. And that would tell me that you have pain there. And so I walked him through a technique. And then afterwards, she touched it. And thank God she allowed me. I'm like, can I videotape it? So she allowed me to videotape as she was telling the group, like, I can't believe this has just happened.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. So like I said, not every case, because sometimes I have to touch and feel what's going on, because some people, they're just not in tune with their bodies. When I ask them question, like, describe me your pain. Is it sharp? Is it dull? Does it come and go? Is it local? Does it refer anywhere? They're like, it hurts here. I'm like, okay, you're not telling me much. With people like that, I would love to, I wish they were in my office so I can just see them and touch it and feel it. So yes, I mean, like I said, it does not replace the touching and feeling. And when I'm doing online consultations, I would ask the people, like, okay, find a practitioner, ask them this questions to choose a practitioner, or I would refer them a couple of websites where they have directories. I'm like, go to this site, find if they have someone who has been trained, some of the techniques that I have been, and find that person in local.
Wow. What inspired you to become a pain relief practitioner? Like, I would imagine when you were younger, you were giving massages to everyone in your family. I don't know if that's true.
Never. No, not at all. Not at all. Actually, I was a former athlete, professional athlete. I played volleyball for Armenian national team.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Well, for Armenian, I was considered tall. I was one of the shortest people on our team because most of our team girls were Russians. We had like 4 Russian girls, and they were like 6'2", and there is Ani like between 5, 6, and 7. But I was a really good defense player and a server. So, but as an athlete, especially a volleyball player, I can't tell you how many times I twisted my ankles, my shoulder injuries. So I know pain. But what really pushed me become specialize in pain relief is, whenever I hear people that they just say, oh, that's just now, it's part of my life, this pain. Or my doctor said, oh, that's normal for your age.
Oh, I see.
And that would drive me crazy. Because no one should learn to live with pain. You should seek solutions, because solutions are out there. You just haven't found one yet. That doesn't mean you should learn to live with pain. And that's the biggest drive for me.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's that's super helpful, at least for us and for your community of clients and patients, to have someone who really cares about the wellness and well-being of them.
Yeah. And I love, like I said, the case is more challenging. I love it. It excites me because I learned so much from it.
Do you get to practice what you learn? Because you said that you learn and try new techniques every time, but do you have people to practice on, or do you practice
my patients?
Your patients. I think they're open to that.
Call it practice, right?
Absolutely.
Well, like, let's try this. Let's see if it's going to work.
Right. So how many sessions generally do they need for them to get
it
back?
Varies from person to person. It's so, I can tell you, usually if I don't see any improvement by session 2 or 3, I'm going to tell them, find someone else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because my goal is, the first session, I released some stuff. Second session, I want to make sure what I released, it stayed released. So I can go a little deeper. It's like peeling an onion. So then we can go the different layers, deeper layers, because your body, it's a process. Sometimes I like to tell my clients, I'm not Amazon Prime. I cannot deliver overnight. That pain didn't come unless you were in a car accident or you did an injury or trauma, something. This chronic pain developed over time, and it's going to take a little time for your body to overcome, to undo what was done. And it's a process, and you have to understand that process. So everyone is different.
I would imagine it's not such an easy area to work in because, you're dealing with people who have pain. They're not necessarily happy. They are in a difficult position. So how do you keep yourself motivated to keep on going and to keep at least offering them some inspiration to get better, to feel better? Because you want to make sure that doesn't impact your mood and your well-being yourself.
Oh, yeah. Mine, I learned a long time ago. I would say in my 30 years, only twice that I took on the client's pain, because the next day I felt exact same pain that they were feeling.
Oh.
So I learned how to not allow the pain to my body to take on that pain energetically. When the client comes to you in pain, all they want to do is get rid of their pain, right? So let's say if you're here to see me for a neck pain of it's 8 or 9 in a pain scale, which 10 is worse and 1 is like almost nothing. When it's 8 or 9, you're very motivated to get rid of that pain. And you will do anything I tell you to do. But so if your pain goes down to 2 or 3, so does your motivation, because you're like, well, I can live with 2 or 3, right? But my focus is, I ask the client, what is that pain preventing you from doing? Like, I'm going to Europe and I want to be able to walk around and see things. Or, my grandson is coming to visit and he's 2 years old. He's going to want me to pick him up and go for walks and play like ball and, throw a ball. When we focus on that motivation, that never goes away until they can achieve it. So it's how we approach it. It's not about, I'm not taking your pain away. I'm giving you the quality of life back that you didn't have.
That's beautiful. So would you say that it all happens in the mind, or is it? It is. Oh,
it's all in the mind. I'm not talking about the pain is in your mind, even though for some people it is. But how fast what I do is going to impact you, it's a lot dependent on you, on the client. Yeah. Because some people, they just want to stay in pain because that's an excuse for them not to go to work. That's an excuse for them not to do things or to be in a center of attention, or the family to say, oh, poor you. It's people have different agendas, I guess.
Oh, that's super interesting because people who really want to get better, they can get better.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's powerful.
All right. Our minds are very powerful.
Yes, they are. So are you ready for the next section?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, cool. I'm going to ask you a few questions that we ask every guest.
Yes.
What's the one question you wish people asked you more often?
I would say, what can I do in between sessions? Because the maintenance, the techniques that I teach, and I love giving homework, that's where the real magic happens. That's what, when you do the maintenance, the pain relief, one day I ran into a client at the store and she goes, "Oh my God, Ani, I haven't seen you in so long." But she goes, "It's your fault. The techniques you taught me for my lower back," she goes, "as long as I do them, I have no pain." I'm like, "Oh, I love it." So yeah, I wish they can ask, what can I do in between sessions to stay pain-free?
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And what are the 3 tools or habits that you can't live without?
My coffee, for sure. I'm Armenian.
How many coffees do you have a day?
I used to have a lot, like 5-6 lattes a day. Now I'm down to only one. Like in the morning, I already had my latte at 5:30 this morning.
Homemade
I make a delicious latte. Oh, I make delicious latte. Well, if I tell you, it's with fresh ground nutmeg, fresh ground cinnamon. Sometimes I make the nut milks myself, and I put some ghee in there also. Oh, my lattes are delicious. You're welcome.
Wow. Sounds
so
really
the
delicious.
Second one, I want to say to follow my gut feeling with the client. It's, when I feel, okay, I should go look at this, or I should ask this to the client. It's whatever my gut feeling tells me. That's more powerful than what my brain scientifically may say. "Oh, this may be wrong." It's like, no, what my gut says.
Oh, okay.
Gut feeling is very powerful. Yes. That's why it's so hard for me to teach my stuff to other practitioners, because it's like sometimes I don't know what I'm going to do with the client until I talk to them or I touch or something. And the third one, I would say my curiosity. I'm very curious. And if you're familiar with the Gallup strength tests, learner is my number one strength.
Oh, wow.
I'm a forever learner. I love reading, research, new techniques and stuff. I just love learning. So my curiosity.
Okay. Well, at least from what I know of you, I can confirm that, from the few encounters that we had in the past. So that's so great. That's so great. So next question, Ani, do you have any book recommendations or like a favorite quote that you live by?
One of my favorite books, I would have to say, is The Body Keeps the Score. It's how trauma can show up in a body in different parts. It's not always the structural, muscular. Trauma can sit in different parts of the body. So make sure we listen to it.
Wow. Did you read that prior to your training, or is this something that you...
No, I think it's throughout the years, in the last few years, that I've been a lot more into like Ho'oponopono. I don't know if you're familiar with the Hawaiian healing modality. This is when I went and studied NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. I'm a master practitioner, even though I don't really say, "Oh, I do NLP," but I would incorporate in my practice in the sessions. Like I've had clients that they were allergic to cat, or they would bite their nails. And with the neuro-linguistic programming, there's some of their amazing techniques. I was able to help them overcome that.
Fantastic. So you guys, you can find Ani on ExpertEase app. I'm also going to put her website. You can check it out. Last word to you, Ani.
Well, I would have to say, one of my favorite quotes is, pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. Never choose to suffer with pain. Solutions are out there. And the only thing I would say, what your life would look like if you didn't have the pain. Paint that picture, make it bright, make it colorful, and never lose that picture.
Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, Ani. That was so refreshing and really, I loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Safa. Thank you.
See you soon.